Tonight on Debating Amongst Friends, some MLB news and playoffs, including a major loss to the game. Some NBA news, including the retirement of the big ticket. Going to discuss Bird versus LeBron, and we're going to wrap it up with some WWE action starting now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is Debates Among Friends, live on Mixlr. Like us on our Facebook page at Debates Among Friends. Tonight is the 21st edition of this podcast. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening. I am known as Professor John Gotti. And always by my side, we have the Broken Doctor. Doctor, how you doing tonight?
Broken and ready to be put back together with this podcast debate, sir.
Awesome. We ourselves a pretty packed show, but I mean, we seem to have the issue starting the podcast today. Apparently, someone decided to unplug everything, and he told us that unless we let him on the show tonight, we will not be able to do the show. So he's here again, ladies and gentlemen. You love him, you hate him. You make the ladies scream as it's Mr. October himself. Mr. October, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. My favorite month is coming up. How's everybody else doing?
We're Octobering.
Good. Wait, is that even a phrase?
No, we're getting ready for October. It's the best part, yeah.
Hashtag Octobering.
The Debates Among Friends, making new words one day at a time. Let's get ourselves started with some MLB. We had ourselves a major blow to the game happen to us this weekend. I know I was pretty hit hard by this. Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez tragically passed away due to a boating accident. Definitely hit the not even just the MLB world, but it just hit the world entirely. Just highly talented, highly charismatic. I mean, he had it all. I mean, what was your thoughts about this when you heard about it?
It was sad because, you know, in baseball nowadays, and it's always been this way for quite a while, but you know, you're told to play the game like you've played it before. So the old guard doesn't like to do a lot of celebration, and it's that there's this thing, and you even heard Bryce Harper said it. Bryce Harper likes to say, my goal is to make baseball fun again," and he kind of sticks his finger in the face of that idea that, if you do something great, don't celebrate it, act like you've done it before. And you're seeing with a lot of these young guys that they're celebrating, and it's great for the game. And Jose Fernandez, he was such a breath of fresh air because he played with such a joy and such a passion. He was like it was like he was a little leaguer. And every day he went out there, every day that he pitched, he brought such joy, such enthusiasm. And it's definitely a void. I mean, for a relatively new player, and you see the outpouring of love throughout the league, and just how tragic and how unfair it is. Unfortunately, it was due to a boating accident, and it's just one of those things that he definitely went way too soon, and he had the potential to be a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal pitching talent that would definitely have taken his rightful place in the stage of the great, at least the young great ones that are in the game right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always pretty sad. As you look. I guess as you looked at some of the veterans, some of the guys that have been in the league for a long time, obviously some people are about to step away from the game, but just the entire league kind of rallied around, this one incident. Of course, he's a young player, very young player. And, seeing the people crying and even the fans, they fanned around the stadiums, everybody's kind of heartbroken, even if, you're caught into that rivalry, like, hey, he's on the opposing team, but when you think about this sport, you always have to realize that these are human beings, of course, and you want them obviously to go home safe to their families. And it's always just sad when you lose somebody this young, especially somebody early in their career, but not necessarily just their career, but early in their life. And I guess that's where it's kind of sad. And obviously, not only the Marlins will definitely miss him, but of course the entire MLB will miss him because, as you mentioned, he did make the game fun. The one clip that I kept seeing was one of the players hit the ball and he caught it, and he's like, the guy's like, "Did you catch that?" And he's like,
"Yes,
yeah, I did." That's
a great clip.
Wasn't that Tolowinski?
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, and I was just like, "Wow, that's hilarious to me." And that's the kind of things that you will remember, from him. And I think Big Papi and someone else kind of reenacted it or something like that, but. It's just one of those things that it's really sad to see, and we're definitely hopefully the family's okay, and our condolences from the show, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, just piggyback on that. I mean, just reading so many articles just talk about how much he enjoyed giving back and always trying to be involved with so much stuff, from where he came from, and to be able to get that opportunity from when he defected over to the U.S. and finally get his citizenship. Like, it just speaks volumes to the struggle. And we talk about struggles.
Yeah.
We talk about struggles just being an up-and-coming athlete in America, but just thinking about, and myself and the Broken Doctor both did a study abroad out in Dominican Republic. Like, it just gave us just a huge culture shock on the real struggle that people have to do just to make it, just to make ends meet, and not understanding that baseball isn't just fun. Baseball is basically the way of life, not a way of life. Like, it's literally a way for them to not only get themselves to a better place, but also their families and loved ones as well too.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of immigrants, especially people that have defected from Cuba, they latched on to Jose Fernandez. I saw that a lot on Facebook, that aside from him being a terrific athlete, just the fact that he was able to get out of Cuba and make a better life for himself. He was an example to a lot of immigrants of, especially in a time when this country, unfortunately, race relations are pretty poor, and there's a lot of xenophobia that's being preyed upon, I should say. He was a reminder of, hey, listen, I can do it, and it was difficult, but you can do it too. You don't have to be a professional baseball player. And he was just one person that was high profile. Obviously, we all know, we're all children of immigrants, and we all know people that have immigrated to this country that are first, second generation Americans. But the fact that he was, I guess I want to say, so public about how much of a struggle it was, and how many recent immigrants to this country identified with that struggle and identified with him, even if they weren't fans of the Marlins, they identified with him. Especially a lot of young immigrants, especially people in our age group, mid to late 20s, early 30s. He definitely spoke to a lot of people and for a lot of people, and it's just a shame.
Absolutely, and again, it's just going to be one of those situations right before the playoffs. You would never really expect anything like this to happen. You're about to get into October, hence Mr. October, and here you are, and something tragic like this happens. So when I woke up, I mean, typically, I'm going to be honest, like, when news like this happens, no matter what it is, it could be anything. Even the message I got earlier about J.J. Watt, I usually scream out, "Oh my God!" Right. I think when I saw this, it was like 8:30, 9 in the morning on Saturday, and my wife was sleeping, of course, and I'm just like, "Oh goodness!" And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing. Somebody died." Like, it's like, like you always just react. Like, I'm a big reactor at home. Like, I'll have my headphones on and something will pop up, and I know for me, I never ever control my surprise. It's like, oh my goodness, he died. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so crazy.
I mean, for me, just the initial shock for me was I eventually woke up and gotten the ping from Bleacher Report. Shout out to Bleacher Report, by the way.
Bleacher Report, yes.
And just reading just the headline, like, I couldn't hit the link. I couldn't read the story because I was just so in awe, so in shock. Like, it makes you realize, and situations like these just make you realize how much we're all human.
Right.
And how quickly something as precious as life can be taken away.
Oh,
where
absolutely.
so many people can take those sort of things for granted. And I'm trying not to go into a podium about this because I can talk all night about this. But just to show more appreciation for not just yourself as a human being, but for your fellow human beings as well too.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, and it shows that, you know, sports isn't just sports. You know, sports is also life. It's a celebration of life. It's a culmination of, you know, an art that's beautiful, that should be shared throughout the world. You know, and I feel like that's what all these athletes do, and that's something that Jose Fernandez also brought as well too. I appreciate everything that he brought for me to be able to see, you know, the laughter, the fun that he brought in, the passion, the charisma. I mean, I know the doctor mentioned Shinsuke Nakamura just on the charisma factor. Like, I can definitely say, like, Jose brought that to the table. Like, whenever you see him on ESPN for a highlight, like, you know that he is ready to do something special, you know?
Right,
and,
absolutely.
I mean, it's just shocking. I mean, I'm literally speechless.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's very tragic.
Well, now that we've finished up with the downer of the evening, we figure let's talk about something else. Something that's going to be coming up soon, unless.
Well, wait. Before we get there, how does Mr. October feel about Tim Tebow? First pitch out in practice. Don't talk about practice out there. He's out there, lines up, and what in the world does he do?
He goes yard.
He goes yard. Hit the long ball, my friend.
Listen, it's definitely impressive. Listen, he has every right to be happy, and so do his teammates down the instructional league. Obviously, his celebrity plays a big part in it, and you know,
it's softball out there. Did he do it underhand?
No, but no, I don't. No, it wasn't underhand. It definitely wasn't underhand. But you know, he should listen. For today, he should be definitely proud. His teammates should be excited, and this is definitely a positive sign for him. Now we just, you know, that was the first pitch he's seen in instructional league. Let's see once pitchers be like, all right, listen, we just can't throw a fastball down the middle of the plate because he can obviously crush it. Let's see if he can hit a curve, a slider, a changeup. But you know what? I'm willing to give the guy a chance. You know, we'll see. I mean, with baseball, you get exposed very quickly if you have it or you don't.
It's quite the flip from Mr. October's previous statements, and we can go to the tapes on his initial reaction to Tim Tebow deciding to play baseball.
Listen. I still think it's a publicity stunt. You can't tell me that because the Mets were the only team that took a chance. It wasn't like there was a rush of teams fighting the Mets off for this guy. But maybe the Mets find a diamond in the rough. Maybe, you know, his fielding is still suspect, though. That is something that has been said. His fielding, you know, unless he goes to the American League and is just a DH, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen since he signed with the Mets, and there is no DH in the National League.
Absolutely
not. His fielding, from what I still hear and from what I read, is still an issue. So, you know, he can hit a BP fastball, but let's see what happens. I'll give the guy a shot.
Absolutely. You know? Yeah. I just thought it was hilarious. That's all.
It is, and he should be excited. He should be excited. So should his team. He should be having a beer and some food with the guys tonight. He should celebrate that.
We think
Absolutely.
3 years in the developmental league, and maybe he'll have a chance. Because I mean, 30 in baseball is really not that bad. So I mean,
if he does well in the instructional league, they may move him up through the ranks. They wouldn't just do instructional league to
straight up to majors.
No. They would work. He'd go AA. He'd go AAA. I mean, if they're serious about, if he does better, I'd say less than 3 years.
Oh goodness.
I'm serious.
The majors in a year and a half, maybe.
I would say 2. I don't think. If he really performs well, I don't think it would take 3. I think 2 years. You know, he may do 1 year in AA. If he really sets the league on fire in the instructional league, he may just surpass single A and go to AA.
Because I mean, obviously, we know he has the arm strength. I mean, he's always had the arm strength. He's a pretty big guy. We know he's strong.
And he's athletic. There's no question.
Very athletic.
His athleticism is off the charts.
it's all about the fundamentals.
The fielding, yeah.
It's the fundamentals, the eye-hand coordination, stuff like that you can try and teach, but it's like you either have it or you don't.
Indeed.
Wait. So is Mr. October saying that you can't teach that?
You can teach that. He played. Let's not forget, he did play ball in college, correct?
He did.
But college and the pros are completely different playing fields, literally and figuratively. But let's see, if he can channel something from his college days, that muscle memory comes back, anything's possible. I mean, like I said, he should be very, very proud and very happy about tonight, and he's just got to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
So I will change my previous statement. I'll say that it's still a publicity stunt, but it may turn out to be gold for him and the Mets if this really works out. Because in all honesty, the Mets have nothing to lose from this.
They don't have anything to lose for it.
They get free publicity. So does Mr. Tebow, and if it works, then they look like the geniuses.
And if it doesn't work, then
Then it's no skin off their nose. It's no big deal. We took a chance. It didn't work out. No big deal. It doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
If anything, Tebow can always go back down to the SEC network and doing analysis for the games.
Listen, Mr. Tebow is not hurting for work. Okay, let's just make that very clear.
He's
actually very, very popular. I don't really know what the heck is going on, but he's very, very popular for somebody.
I don't know.
It's like Jeremy Lin and Linsanity. It's just people latch onto him. It just.
Well, first of all, Linsanity's back in Brooklyn, your neck of the woods. So.
I know, and it's going to be interesting. Let's see if the Brooklyn faithful really bring the insanity back, and let's see if they rally around him.
I don't.
Not to get too far off topic, but I did like what Jeremy Lin had said about the Linsanity. It was a very thoughtful, very thoughtful comment. But we could save that towards the NBA news. We don't have to jump into that right now. But I do want to touch on that. It was a very thoughtful commentary on how he viewed himself.
Absolutely. And I was able to read that article too. That was very insightful.
Absolutely.
If you get a chance to check it out, definitely. But let's talk about
October.
The thing that Mr. October is here for. We're talking about the MLB playoffs. We got the seedings all locked up.
For the most part, yeah.
I think everything's locked up as far as what I can see.
Yeah, there may be a few shuffles of who gets in and who doesn't, but
all right.
For the most part, the league's pretty set. At least for most of the divisions are pretty set.
Yep. So far, the teams that all clinched are the Boston Red Sox.
Sorry.
The Texas Rangers, the Washington Nationals, the Chicago Cubs.
Yep, maybe their year, man.
Los Angeles Dodgers. And what's that last team, sir?
The Cleveland Indians. The Tribe.
The Tribe.
I mean, the last time their name's been relevant was the Major League movies.
Yes.
A little more recently than that, but yeah. They've definitely got something brewing in Cleveland. Absolutely.
Any favorites?
I'm telling you, just because I think it would be a hell of a story, I'm rooting for the Cubs. I mean,
Cubbies.
The Yankees. I mean, they gave a great run, and they're set up for a great future with all of the young talent they have. I mean, they're gonna be in the contender category again very quickly, I believe. But I'm rooting for the Cubs. Shout out to the people in Chicago. I think you definitely I don't want to jinx it, and I know people in Chicago get mad at me because they're very superstitious people, rightfully so.
Yeah, we have millions and millions of people listening to the podcast right now.
Absolutely.
So you have to make sure that everything that you say will probably be used against you in the court of the internet. So
That's
but my friend
said that.
But my friends on the north side, I think it may be time to put the Billy Goat away finally, put Bartman away, and this may be it. And listen, you just signed Theo Epstein to a 5-year contract, which I think is brilliant. You have a great manager in Joe Madden, and you have a great young, exciting team where everybody steps up, everybody knows their role, nobody tries to do too much. And I mean, I don't know if it gets much better than this. You know what I mean? The Cubs, I think this is their time. I think they have a great window, and let's see it. Let's do it for Harry Carey. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, they've been dominant throughout the whole year, to be honest with you.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, it was just a magical season. I mean, to try to compare it, I mean, can we say it's as good as the Warriors' record-setting regular season? I mean, I don't want to jinx them like that. Chicago Nation, I love you. I'm a Yankees fan at heart, but I'm also rooting for you as well.
I mean, 101 games is no easy feat. You
win 101 out of 162, and you still have 2 weeks left of the season.
Yep.
I mean that's impressive. I mean, you crack 100 games, you're a dominant team.
Absolutely. I mean,
so does that mean it'll be more?
And I'm only saying that because I don't want the Red Sox to win.
Oh. Well, I'm going to be controversial, of course, and I'm going to say this, because you guys know, and I know I got two Yankee fans, a Met fan, and all these fans here, but my dad's a Mets fan. I get it, but
shout out to the doctor's father.
I really am a big Poppy fan, and I would have to get going for the Red Sox. I'm sorry. They play very exciting playoff baseball. They always have, and I believe they might always will. They're pretty exciting to watch.
They are. They're a solid team, and they have this thing where they'll miss the playoffs one year.
Yes.
Make the playoffs, miss the playoffs, make the playoffs, be terrible, make the playoffs.
Win. Win.
Yeah, they do like this 1 year rebuild where they're sometimes absolutely terrible, and they turn it around within a season. It's actually pretty amazing.
One person that's always there. Big Poppy.
Well, the Yanks got a measure of revenge against him last night. He struck out with him being the go-ahead run, and he went 0 for 5 last night. But I can't knock the Red Sox. They've been doing their thing, and Theo Epstein laid a groundwork, and so did Terry Francona, now John Farrell, and the Brain Trust in Boston. They're just continuing that. I mean, they have a framework that works, and
it's been working consistently for the past couple of years too.
Absolutely. I mean, they're another one of those teams where they just kind of change the guys out, and they put another guy in, and they'll still do it. I mean, and listen, I mean, I know the Mets have kind of had a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde season, but even the Mets, I mean, if you think about it, they lost Lucas Duda, they lost David Wright, they've lost pitcher after pitcher after pitcher, and they were treading water as recently as a month ago, where they were just kind of hovering around 500, and they were kind of starting to fall away from the pack. And now they're making a stretch run. I mean, they're in the front seat for the wild card. So shout out to my friends and fans over in Flushing. You guys are doing your thing, and
excellent, yeah.
And Terry Collins. I mean, listen, it was only 2 months ago that Mets fans were calling for Terry Collins to be fired because they were thinking he didn't know how to manage. I mean, it's the Mets looks like, and I say looks like, they may be making another trip back to the postseason. The Cardinals and the Giants may have something to say about that.
Right.
But
I mean, to use a infamous phrase that's been used all around. I mean, all the Mets players and the management and whatnot is telling Mets Nation, "You like that?"
So, I mean, quick predictions here, Mr. October. You're saying Chicago right now. The Cubs.
I'm sorry. It's my heart. My heart is outweighing my mind. But if you look at the record, you can make a case that just based on statistics, they should be a World Series favorite. And
absolutely.
I actually have some friends of mine that are Cubs fans, and it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see the Cubs actually win a World Series. Actually, just make it to one. Let's put it like that.
There we go.
Mr. Gotti.
Well, I don't want Boston to win, so that's already knocking out one.
Who do you got?
I'm honest. I mean, for me, I like a Cinderella story.
Okay.
And I'm always that guy around March Madness, and I start to feel that madness seeping into my veins, and I start losing my mind.
Oh, sounds like
I like a good feel-good story, and I'm going for the Cubs as well too. I would go for the Texas Rangers, but since I hear about them all the time, I just want them to be humble.
Right. So I guess it's on me. Yes, I guess it's on me. So obviously, outside of Big Papi, I would say I've always actually liked the Indians. Even again, I think I mentioned it before, back when they had like Manny Ramirez, Kenny Lofton, and those guys. I was a big fan of the Indians actually at that time. Obviously, I was a young kid when that was happening because Lord knows how long Kenny Lofton played ago. But I would like to see the Indians, I guess, bring it home for Cleveland. Another story there with the Cavs winning, but it would kind of make it a little easier for the Indians to go ahead and bring it home. Lord knows that the curse of the Browns isn't being lifted. They'll probably have to move out of Cleveland again. But that's okay. But I'm going with Cleveland and Boston, though. Cleveland and Boston.
Here we go. Well, let's move on. Let's get away from Major League Baseball. I'm sorry, Mr. October. Don't unplug the show. We did what you said. Relax.
I'm down for the NBA, man. Let's talk about some basketball.
All right. So we had another NBA great hang him up. One of the most ferocious competitors of our generation.
Mr. Cheerio himself.
Kevin Garnett, that was not me. That was the Broken Doctor. I am not taking that.
I mean, talking about competitive, probably one of the most competitive power forwards out there. And I made the comment because, of course, we can talk about not only the big ticket hanging it up, but also Paul Pierce announcing that this will be his last year. Yep. Now I'm going to tell you, and this might be, people might say, hey, Doc, I can't believe you're obviously broken because, these guys have been dominating for a long time. But let me tell you something. That guy, formerly known as Paul Pierce, he has not had his basketball knees for the last 5 to 8 years.
Yep.
I agree.
At least 5 to 8 years. So, talking about poor defense in the NBA, he had the slowest drive and jump shot. When he drove the basket, it was like one of those times where, you're a kid and, your grandfather gets out there on the court. Not your dad. This is not your father's basketball. Your grandfather out there.
Oh, wait, that's not a sponsor to this song. You can't do that.
That's why I said
that's not a sponsor. I'm sorry. You can't do that.
I said not your father's basketball because that's the unofficial sponsor.
Well, one of them, but tonight, Debates Among Friends is sponsored by
That's why. But he had the slowest drive ever. And it baffled me how he would get to the rim and actually score. Now his 3-point shot, obviously, he can hit the 3-point shot. But I'm to a point where I think KG probably could have played another 2 to 3 years.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if anything, not just for his basketball prowess on the court, it's his motivational factor. And that's one of the things that I've always loved watching about KG. Even when he first started, even when he was in high school. Right. Just the tenacity that he brought to the court. I sort of brought that on there when I played. Kind of, sort of. I was passive-aggressive, I'm not going to lie.
You were face. Yeah, you were face.
I was a tweener. Stop it.
Yeah, you were face. I mean, you could tell when you were playing, I mean, obviously, that,
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a quick interruption.
Yeah. Big Poppy is on the screen.
Big Poppy is currently at the mound. Well, at the plate.
Clearly.
Batting.
Clearly, Big Poppy is a man. He's actually stopped the show here. But KG probably could have. He could probably go and he could probably retire, come back next year and play all over again. But as you were saying,
thing I don't want to see with KG is I don't want to see him become a coach because he might get fired really fast.
I don't think so. I don't know if he would be good at it only because, well, I don't know. I think he actually might be good at it. I think he might be able to actually help a young power forward adapt to the game. I mean,
all I can think of is him pulling a Mike Tomlin, trying to hook up on someone.
I don't know, man. I think KG's probably would be different as a coach. Just like there are a lot of people who are very, very ferocious. I mean, but I think that I don't know. I'm trying to think of different players here that actually went back to be coaches, and a lot of them weren't really mild-tempered or very, very extremely competitive. That would be like if Kobe came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to coach," but I think Kobe would be good at it, though.
I agree. I think he would too.
It's just with Kobe, though, nobody that he's coaching would be able to play like him, and that would be a problem in his eyes.
Well, that's the thing. You see that with a lot of great athletes. They get frustrated coaching because they're like, well, listen, this came so easy to me. Why doesn't it come as easy to you?
Right. No, absolutely. But I think KG would be good. And I mean, I'm looking forward to...
Everyone's like a KG. Not everyone's like a Kobe. Not everyone's like a Reggie Miller. Like, they don't have that killer instinct.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Looked like it was gone. I was like, oh man, I thought that's the only thing I hate about baseball is everything looks like a home run until they pan the camera out. Even when you're alive, you're looking like, oh my god, that's gone. It's like coming right at you behind.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, we're gonna miss KG. Miss his fire.
Absolutely.
I really felt like he could have still came back and played another 15 to 20 minutes for a team, though, for real.
Oh yeah, and KG along with Reggie Miller is one of the best trash talkers in NBA history.
I don't know. That might be a debate for another show.
I said one of the best. I didn't say the best.
No.
I think
we're gonna save that one for another week. We're gonna have to actually invite Mr. October back on, so he doesn't have to blackmail us to get back on the show. And we need to have a discussion about that one. That's gonna be a major topic. But let's move on.
It might have to have the sergeant back on for that one too.
We might have to. We might have to make it a four-way dance to argue about who is the best trash talker in NBA history.
Skywalker smack talker.
I got to get the jab and to get the jab, and I'll put that lazy eye back to work. But the other thing we wanted to talk about was there was an analysis done by B-Ball Breakdown. Shout out to B-Ball Breakdown. Always giving us the advanced stats. The Professor John Gotti always uses it. And they talked... The debate was about who was better, and I'm going to ask it to Mr. October first. Who was better as an overall NBA player? LeBron James or Larry Legend?
That's tough.
It is tough. I'm so happy he told you first.
Oh, don't worry. You're next.
Let me get this straight. You're talking about all-around player.
All around. So we're talking all aspects of the game. We're talking about the defensive side. We're talking about being able to back people down to the basket, getting rebounds, playmaking, outside shooting, free throws, all aspects of the game. Who is better and why?
Oh my goodness. I would have to go with Bird just based on a full body of work. I mean, LeBron's career is not even finished yet. At the end of his career, he could definitely be better than Larry Bird, but right now I'd have to say Larry Bird. The fact that you even have a lot of the young guys, they'll praise Bird. They'll come out and they'll talk about Larry Bird and they'll be like, oh my goodness, like, one, I wish I could have played with him, and two, he would have definitely been a hell of a competitor. Larry Bird, he was absolutely tenacious and he was a hell of a shooter, and defensively, he was very good. And I'm not saying that LeBron's not. It's just hard. It's hard to. That's why I get nuts with the Jordan LeBron comparisons or the Magic and LeBron comparisons, because you're going based off somebody who has a full career that we can look back on, and as opposed to a guy who is in the prime of his career and is just going to keep going and keep winning and keep performing. So it's really tough.
Well, but it wouldn't be debates among friends if it wasn't tough.
Exactly, but I would have to go right now with Bird. Right now, with Larry Bird. Right now, all around would be the better player.
Doctor, your take.
It's hard to say because we would have to take away. Just looking over the career, Larry Bird only played 897 games in his career, and LeBron obviously already at 986 games played over his career. Actually, I'm sorry, 987. Excuse me, clearly maybe missed a start somewhere. So obviously LeBron's already, pretty high up there in points, clearly. But the one thing that's pretty interesting, I will say, is that even in a shorter amount of games, which I would have never taken Larry to be the extreme rebounder, but even in a shorter amount of games, Larry's actually still out rebounding LeBron, and that's pretty
I
interesting.
believe during the video, actually, if you can check it out on the Debates Among Friends fan page, it's out there. He actually out rebound LeBron James by about 3.1 or something like that.
Wow.
And LeBron doesn't have more than, I think it's maybe about 20, possibly 30 more blocks than Larry. So I mean, obviously Larry.
But you see, I'll say it like this: you can give kudos to LeBron for the blocks, but you have to think about, and this is why people make the argument about LeBron being better than everyone else, because they keep saying about the generational gap. But Larry Bird played in an era where there were giants.
Right.
LeBron James don't have that issue anymore.
Yes, the league has gotten smaller.
I will say this. Looking at the numbers, and this is very, very misleading because it looks like Larry took a lot more shots. Actually, no, I take that back. Depending on what part of the career you look at, LeBron actually looks like he has a slight advantage. Actually, I mean, they're pretty even, but it looks like he has like a slight advantage at the field goal percentage, which is pretty interesting. Of course, Larry would be better at the 3-point percentage. This is pretty even. I mean, I'm just so surprised by that rebound total. It's really throwing me off because I know LeBron rebounds quite often, and the fact that he is so far away, that's pretty interesting. And this is also, looks like there was a year here where, let's see, 88-89 season where Larry didn't play as well. So that could be why there's a discrepancy here as well.
Larry had a lot of injuries to deal with towards the end of his career. So
yeah.
That's where the numbers aren't as consistent. There's a lot of, as you said before, anomalies and holes within the data.
All right. Plus, LeBron got an early start. Let's just be honest. I mean, how many 18, 19-year-olds out of high school come straight out of high school and just play 79 out of 79? You get no injuries. It just doesn't happen that way.
He has incredible luck. And one of the things they did say is the marvel of modern technology in medicine.
Absolutely.
Definitely played a big role into the stability for LeBron James because he is a genetic freak.
I mean, you can make the argument even with baseball. I mean, look at Mickey Mantle and look at Babe Ruth. I mean, they put up numbers that are still hard to top today, and they didn't take care of themselves back then.
That's true. They smoking and drinking, carrying on.
Exactly. I mean, imagine if they had taken care of themselves the way athletes do today. My goodness, their numbers would never have been touchable.
It wouldn't at all. And I'm so glad that you said that because if it wasn't Mr. October who would say that, it'll be either John Gotti, the professor, or Broken Doctor.
I mean, who are you choosing? You never mentioned who are you choosing in this debate here, Mr. Gotti. Mr. Gotti.
So, as much as I enjoy the people, and the people like to go with the popular vote, I'm gonna go against the popular vote, and I'm gonna say Larry Legend is the better.
Yeah, I think he was an all-around better player.
And once again, if you watch the video towards the end, they made the claim for LeBron James, but for me, it was Larry Legend. Everything just showed advantage Larry. Yeah. The only thing that LeBron has over Larry is the fact that he is a genetic freak of nature.
Oh yeah, I was called a man-child because he plays.
Wait, man-child or manable?
I was called the man-child, but and obviously that's not a knock against him. I mean, he's an incredible physically gifted person.
Absolutely.
But he played the position of a 2, and a 3, but he's built like a 4.
Right.
And that's what makes him so hard to defend.
Yep.
But he can play that 1 if he wanted to, and that's
absolutely
kind of crazy. Just like we always talking about, like the Greek Freak and some of these other guys who are like ridiculously big, but they can dribble, they can shoot. Like the league is about to change again. I feel like it'll continue to evolve, but obviously we can't say. And this is where we would have to, of course, save a debate for another time because we always talk about this generational gap, and I think that's where we always kind of get into this. We can't really pick because LeBron did this during this era, Larry did that during that era, and that's where it gets kind of cloudy. because
know
of
what I
different
think?
eras.
I think either we need to commit a whole episode towards
Absolutely.
the full generational gap, or we can create a whole new show called Debates Among Friends Overtime.
There you go.
But that's here or there. Folks out there, let us know what you think. But let's move on to our last one because we're starting to hit up on time a little bit. We have about 12 minutes left, so let's talk a little bit about the wrestling world.
WWE.
Because the doctor has so much to say about it.
Nice.
Sure. How do you feel about this whole idea? I just want to start this with The Miz, the best heel in the business right now, and this Dolph Ziggler feud.
So first of all, The Miz is now one of my favorite wrestlers because he said what I've been saying for the past 6 years, about a certain NBA player. So that's irony because we just finished talking about it. The Miz, Mike Mizarian, is from Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And he stated on Tuesday night episode of SmackDown, you sit there and you cheer for a traitor who left you to go chase a ring. And I said, I was just saying this. I said it for the longest. The doctor can attest to it.
Yeah.
I've been saying this.
They welcomed him back with open arms, like nothing happened.
With open arms. And I made the analogy that if, let's say, a fan favorite for the Yankees left us high and dry.
Right.
Mr. Artovius here, we're going to use the Yankees for an example.
Thank you.
And all
He
of a
went to
sudden,
went to the Red Sox.
And he went to the Red Sox. And then all of a sudden, he decided he wanted to come back. Will the Yankee Nation bring him back with open arms?
That's a tough one because I'm trying to think that ever happened. We've had players go more from the Red Sox to the Yankees. I mean, Jacoby Ellsbury, Wade Boggs, Kevin Youkilis. I mean, the list is endless.
Yeah.
But they never go back.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be weird. That'd be very weird.
I mean, did Doc do that? Doc Gooden.
Doc Gooden went from the Mets to the Yankees.
Yeah, it was a subway. Right. It was a subway ride, not a.
And trust me, Mets fans are still bitter because they've seen all these pitchers pitch no hitters for other teams, but never did it for the Mets. And unfortunately, Johan Santana sold his soul to the devil to pitch that one, and he never pitched again.
Oh goodness.
But anyway, I digress. It's tough. If it was. It would be tough. I think there'd be a segment of Yankee fans that root for the person and not the laundry, but most sports fans root for the laundry. So if they see that you disrespected the logo, the franchise, the heritage, it would be tough. It would be very tough to win them back, unless you had already done something previously. Like I think, for example, if Albert Pujols had gone back to St. Louis, I think they'd take him back because he had won there. He had won there. It's not like he left there to go win in an Anaheim, which I don't think he'll ever win in Anaheim.
Right.
No.
But
unfortunately, the Angels
aren't in the outfield.
I was gonna say the Angels are crap. I just forgot my analogy. Crap.
Uh-oh. Is it because I said they're not in the outfield?
No, I was gonna say they're another team and use that reference, but it'll come back to me. Let's continue on. So
the Miz is your favorite wrestler.
On the mic, he's my favorite heel.
He's the only heel.
Yes, also true.
Only heel. I mean, the only real heel, as I mentioned yesterday via text message to the Gotti, Professor Gotti, I said Kevin Owens is a comical heel. Jericho is an annoying heel.
But he's not. They're not even heels. They still get cheers.
That's because this is another era. Like it's the era. You know, like this particular.
It's hard for people to dislike Kevin Owens because they know where he came from. They know what he did to get there.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like that. Like when we were younger, and we talked about this with the whole. We had this whole Diesel Sid Vicious discussion. Lumberjack match in your house.
Oh, that big boot. That's all I'm saying.
2 decades ago. Back then, the professor would say that we didn't. Well, I guess, standards were too low for wrestling at that time. Which
I mean, I didn't say that, but I'm not going to say that.
You didn't say that because I didn't think the match was that bad. Between the two wrestlers, I thought the idea of a lumberjack match was terrible. I hope they never do that again. But I'm sure they will within the next couple of months or years, most likely. But the wrestlers now, there's no hiding. There's no development. There's nothing. It's like, especially with the WWE, because they're taking talent that's already generated, which we've talked about before, as they're trying to get the broken Matt Hardy story over to WWE. They're taking well-established people, so they don't... Basically, it seemed like they fired their development guys and said, hey, you know what, guys, we're going to fire you. We don't need you anymore. Let's let these guys go to other companies. They'll develop their brands, and then after their contract ends, we'll buy them over here, bring their brands back over, and then we'll put them in NXT and say, hey, well, look what we did. We built these guys from NXT.
Right.
And they'll send them up to the main rosters. And it works for people like me because I've never heard of most of these guys because I don't know the indies. So I don't know a Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know a Kevin Owens unless Professor Gotti says, oh, you should check out this guy like Ricochet. You know?
Yes. And we definitely have on record, too, that the doctor wasn't too excited about Shinsuke starting, and then as soon as he started, he only had one match, instantly fell in love. Just like
it wasn't that I feeling him. What an overstatement. Oh my God, I didn't know him. It's just like I said about freaking what's that pissant that was that one in Vegas?
Hashtag pissant.
Yes, hashtag pissant.
It's just. It's like when I saw that guy in Vegas. I was like, I didn't know I was going to be standing next to the champ. He looked like a pissant.
Oh, infiltration!
And I was trying not to say it. I was trying not to say it, but because I feel like I say it every week now. He's going to come back to.
I'm just waiting for him to challenge you in Street Fighter 5 and he's gonna be I challenge you, and after he finished whopping you 03, he's gonna say download complete.
It'll probably be one of those ready, fight, KO. He probably hit me with a one-button quitter, and I never even touched my controller. But, the WWE it's just a sad sight. And as I mentioned, there's got to be a new company that comes along, some billionaire, Mark Cuban, as I mentioned, that comes up and buys his way into WWE.
Absolutely.
Not WWE, into wrestling, excuse me.
Well, even still. But that's my problem right now. It's the fact that they're grabbing these people from these other promotions, and I know you talked about, WWE needs another competitor, but the problem is they can't get those kind of competitors because they don't have the finances to do it. And WWE is a mega giant. It's hard to become another mega giant.
It'll take
close to you. And you said before, it'll take merging all these other little promotions together in order to do so. But my biggest gripe with WWE is the fact that they do so much limitations to the movesets.
I agree. Let the guys wrestle.
Let the guys wrestle. Some of these guys, like the Kevin Owens, the Sami Zayn, I just want to see Sami Zayn do the Brain Buster.
Brain Buster!
I just want to see him do it because he teases us about it, and I get so upset. It's like blue something spherical.
Well, I think the problem is that it seems like in other promotions, everything works. But when they get to WWE, everything seems to start failing. Even when Cesaro jumped through the middle rope, sir.
And almost killed himself?
He almost died on live TV because he fell directly on top of his head like one of those flipping water bottle tricks that everybody's out there doing on YouTube. Flipping those water bottles.
A good reference to that is when Mr. October and Professor John Gotti played basketball back at our alma mater.
Oh my God! Don't you go there! Don't you go there!
Into a brick wall. I thought the young man died in my arms.
Oh God!
I was so scared. I didn't know what to do, and he popped up and he was like, "Oh, I'm okay."
It's like that other time we were playing basketball with some other people.
The guy who tried to do the dunk. And
no. Remember that time? I think somebody either fell or took a shot. And there was a bird laughing.
Oh, no!
You remember that? I think somebody fell or took a terrible shot, and then there was just this random bird that just went. It was the funniest thing ever.
Hashtag bird laugh.
Bird, for real.
Thank you very much for tuning us with us tonight. I feel like it's about to become something much more seriously.
But I really do think that there has to be another competitor that's on live TV, and we get somebody that's going to really compete with the WWE to push them to get back into development mode and survival mode.
Well, not even just those. I would just say they need to get back to innovation. That's where they're fully lacking, is the fact that NXT does so well because they focus on the wrestling. The main roster, they fail because there's so much talking. Right. So, I mean, they need to go back to basics. Like, show why wrestling is wrestling. Sports entertainment is good, but they don't need it 85% of the time. 85.55 repeating, of course, of the time.
Repeating, of course.
But we're getting low on time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to leave you with this song called 11 a.m. Before Deadline from Team Croup, also featuring my boy Ricky Branson. Thank you very much, Mr. October, for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
Please don't pop my tires on the way out.
October, plus.
October. How can the people out there reach you out in the interweb? What is your Twitter handle?
The Twitter sphere.
At JCUrbanist. That is my Twitter handle.
And once again, thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday evening. I am Professor John Gotti.
And this is the Broken Doctor.
And we'll catch you again next time. See you then. Peace and love.
Deuces.
It will be no sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You're nobody. It's gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take.
This rap shit is his love. He calls her Adrian. Eyes swollen shut, can't wait to see your face again. They gotta cut him just to get another day to live. But when that surgery is up, he'll get a major win. Still, this could be the last song he ever makes. Seems like yesterday he thought he'd be at Heaven's Gate. He took a step away from rap so he could medicate. They celebrate his absence, now he's back to devastate. Stepped out of the hyperbolic like Kakarot. That capsule shadow smash, they block up like an aftershock. Richie Branson, these other rappers is afterthoughts. I snack a lot, eat a track, somebody pass the sauce. Blasting off, getting so damn hot. Like an overhyped astronaut in no man's sky. Used to hit the class a lot, rocking poor man's ice. Had the rocks flashing off like the Kodak lights. Yeah, this is where the hook was supposed to go, but when you hitting bars, 16 will get you no luck. Even at my worst, the flow coated in the snow bluff. Traveling since birth, the roads raise me like I'm gold dust. Damn, microphone getting dusty. You better bring an army if you thinking you can crush me. I'm going off the deep end with no bungee. I wrote this song down on the weekend, don't judge me.
Gatekeepers take note. I want my peace, close the doors in my face, I break them down, I'm not Maurice. I'm the wolves who chase after him. Better yet, I'm the beast who smashes them with bells in a disaster grim. Speaking of bells, I don't crack them, I just ring them. There's liberty attached to what I'm bringing. Cause really I am mastering the beat and shoot and blast the bars. Reality for dreamers, they can happen, I believe it, you receive it. So I've got my weight up, look at palm, skin and feet callous. Best expect the plates that I lift and keep piling. Till I'm around the world spitting 16, so pristine. You can paint them on the Sistine Chapel. Since beginning like the ones who sim clean apples. I've been surgical with all these pricks, mean gapples. By that I mean I'm swinging like I'm gifting Falcon. Punches plus a home of 415 out home. The hook should go here, but I'd rather rap and rip for fans. I rarely sleep with my dreams, cause her Edward Scissorhands to Kruger's spewing, leaking out the blood of any sycophant. Trying to get the view of you just sleeping on the vision, man. So I try to avoid these homies with no processes. Problematic like hemoglobin with low oxygen. I have been sick of seeing this alone violence and acknowledge that I should give my voice more to this problem.
You said it and didn't mean it. I said it cause I believe it and breathe it. I mean until I stop being a being made of pure light. Until a change descends through the night. Never think I'm not dirty cause I'm ready to fight. See my plight is my might and I'm strong cause I'm right. I will strive to be right. Since this hook is my right fist of justice. So maybe now so we can discuss this. We kneel and disgusted. I sit, it's disgusted, revolting. Don't look the other way while I'm talking. Live long and Moving across the mic, I'm a Vulcan. You follow anything that means that you stand for nothing. Don't even know a path that you're walking. I'm fighting for freedom. For you and you, yeah, I don't need it. I'm coming from the walls of Maria. Your boy is a titan. I'm crushing anyone who don't like me. And eating any MC surviving. And here's where the hook went. Nah, I don't like it. I'd rather have a moment of silence. Pick up the flow and go to my mind spin. Run out of other words I can rhyme with. I'd rather spin a bar to my rhyme sick. Like I'm a plague that's raging for blinding. I spread through your township. Have everybody worry my mind slip. Like dude, he used to be such a nice kid. I wonder what we did to have him smashing out like he's 3/5. Don't care about hooks while I'm writing this rhyme. He's going for his while I'm going for mine. Deliver these bars on the drop of a dime. Polish my verse and now I'm power chime. They wanted the double, so I gave him time. Check it like Dipsy and roll with his rhyme. They call me evil, the champ is defined. We're gonna keep winning no matter your mind.